Turn on YouTube captions for a better viewing experience. Pilbush has been a menacing force in the arena of Star Wars hunters since her release back in Season 3. Fast forward seasons later, taking the brunt of several nerfs, she is still a top-tier hunter to learn and play with no matter the game mode or playlist. Whether you're looking to grind ranked, play casual, or impress your ex-wife who left you for a hot Colombian dude, this masterclass is for you. This guide will cover everything from her best mod loadouts, all of her abilities, and my personal tips and tricks during combat. After amassing over 100 levels with Pilbush over the course of time, I still can't believe PETA hasn't come knocking at my door for animal abuse. The Bush is one of the most user-friendly hunters in the game, and in my opinion, the most dominant meta hunter as of now. Enough talk, we roll. Firstly, I'm going to quickly cover the best mods you should be using for her at this time. If you're a free-to-player, then I would at least try to unlock the rare mods, as they provide a good boost with no drawbacks. Especially the plus 20 health points mod. Starting off, the Fierce Movement Speed mod will be equipped. This mod applies a minus 10% reload duration time and a 10% movement speed increased. During the last patch notes, the reload duration for Pilbush was nerfed by roughly 10%. So getting back to that same reload duration previously will help you put more damage in over time, especially fighting tanks. I want to also preface this by saying that I have these mods in mind mostly for dealing with tanks such as Sentinel, Slingshot, and Char, as they are still the most meta hunters right now. Dealing the most damage against them will be ideal. Once you hit the Kyber ranks, that's pretty much all you're going to run into. Next, we're going to add the Uok Demolition mod, which adds plus 10 weapon damage with plus 10 shield damage. The shield damage deals extra damage to any hunter with a shield ability such as Chaos, Sentinel, Slingshot, Pilbush, etc. Very useful against those certain hunters. The explosion radius will be decreased by 10%, which means less of a damage radius against groups of hunters holding each other's hands like a bunch of sissies. Real gamers dive in head first and die within 2 seconds, leaving your team vulnerable. The final mod, Uok Vitality, grants you plus 30 health points and plus 10% increased combat speed. Your regular movement speed is decreased by minus 10% as well, but that pretty much cancels out the buff you got from the movement mod, so you're still at base movement speed overall. The combat speed is basically how fast you're moving firing your weapon or using an ability, which is helpful while strafing in combat. Movement speed is just your regular walking movement across the map. Here is the full stats combined with the added buffs and nerfs you will get to your bush when you apply all these mods together. The only swaps I could recommend for a couple of mods is the Fierce Demo Epic mod in place of the Uok Demo. That way you get increased health while maintaining plus 7 weapon damage, but with a minus 15% slower reload time. And after testing the Uok Eruption mod for some time, I really can't recommend it unless you're dealing with a good team who sticks together and likes to use tanks. The slower fire rate is very noticeable, and you're basically taking a much slower time to kill against most hunters except for the scenario I just mentioned. Feel free to always tweak around and see what you enjoy best to upkeep your bush. Man, this would be a perfect time for a Manscaped sponsor right about now. They never returned my 500 emails. I was super chill about it too. Now, we get to go over Pilbush's abilities and how to use them effectively. Pilbush has some of the best abilities in the game, which makes her stand out from the rest. But first things first, let's skip over her overload ability because honestly it doesn't really do much. Yeah, I guess a 60% movement speed increase helps sometimes. And sure, I could use a 20% faster firing rate on my explosive launcher. You know what, why not throw on a faster reload speed of 30% for the heck of it? And to top it all off, an extra 125 points of shield to work with in the midst of chaos. What a waste of time even trying to find a use for this ability. My left tenderloin could do more than that. In all honesty, I wish I could meet the developer of this ability and shake their hand until it falls off, because who in their right mind thought this wouldn't be overpowered? All you have to do is tap a single button and you activated God mode essentially. It's like when you get the pass to skip the line at Universal Studios because you like walking past everyone with your chin held up high, like, yeah, I can do whatever I want around here. And in the arena with the bush is no different, my friend. Sometimes I make use of this ability when I respawn in order to get back to the objective quicker, especially if I'm spawning on the other side of the map. The cooldown of the ability is only 9 seconds long, so timing your cooldown for the next fight is something to work on as well. Saving the ability for an actual fight is better off most of the time, however. Another situation for overload is perhaps you're at critical health and need that extra armor to save yourself in between health pickups. It will also make it easier to escape your enemy with the speed boost. Use this ability as your crutch and don't always waste the ability if you don't need to. Another fun part use of the speed boost is running circles around slow hunters like a char or sentinel, making it so you can hit them, but they can't hit you. Or let's say you're in a face-off shooting someone else from a distance. Make sure to strafe left and right between shooting to make it harder for your opponents to hit you. Maybe throw in a few bunny hops while you're at it for maximum nuisance. I know the bunny hopping finally got nerfed, but you can still do it to an extent. All in all, the overload is going to be your main source for fast damage, fast traversal across the map, fast food, fast, and much more. On to the next ability in the kit of the bush. Now, this one is actually very underrated and underutilized, and I think it's another overpowered ability in her arsenal. The mechanical leap ability sends you flying in the air like one of those bird things, and then has you come crashing down like one of those gravity things, and wham. Any hunter in that small vicinity close to you on impact will get pushed back in the direction you landed around them. If the hunter is walking up towards you, you want to time your landing to be next to them by the time you touch the ground. That way they go flying in the direction you want them to. The amount of ledge kills you can get with this ability is more than you think. Most of these maps in the game have cliff points already, so learning a few of the most popular spots would be beneficial. One I can think of off the top of my circuits is the center station on Hoth Frontline. The B point to be exact. When you have an enemy standing next to the door on the opposite side of the launch pad on the lower level, you can jump next to them and knock them off the map completely. Especially on Vader's Castle, there's a cliff spot on every edge of the map, most prominently at the B zone as well. Just land to the side of them to send them falling into the hot drink. You'll get used to these interactions the more you practice the ability, but keep in mind that even without the ledge spots, you can still get great value out of using this ability on players. The knockback effect can disorient players, making them have to re-aim their crosshair at their target. You can also turn them around in some cases, as you can land them into a wall from behind and they don't know what hit them. This ability also has a fast cooldown, so you can sort of spam this thing. Using the ability while I'm reloading in the air is very helpful as well, because it's harder to hit a flying rat than one on the ground. Unless you're like a hawk, I guess. Tony Hawk. Getting to second story levels on some maps is very important as well. Death Star Crossfire is the best example here. If you're in the middle section and in trouble, you can jump to the second level quite easily to escape enemy gunfire, while the enemies, assuming they don't have the traversal ability, have to go all the way around to get to the top floor. Jumping onto the rooftops of Vespera Row from the street level has never been easier as well, while everyone else has to take the chairs like a nerd. But not you, buddy. Remember all the exclusive perks we talked about earlier? You don't have to wait around like the rest of those schmucks in this family. You go out there and take it from them. And when you're done with the body, I think I know a guy, oh golly gee, we're talking about two completely different things, aren't we? That's awkward. And did I just say chairs instead of stairs a minute ago? Does this guy even have the credibility to continue this guide? Subscribe. The last couple abilities we have to mention is, you guessed it, broken as well. The Wisties throwables give Pilbush the ability to throw a circular-sized area of effect that when other hunters cross into that section, Their movement slows down 50%, while also taking 7 hit points of damage per tick, adding up to over 100 points if they stay in the area the whole duration. This ability pairs great with pretty much every other ability of hers. I would never waste this ability just for using it for damage or the like. Groups of enemies, beefy tanks, slippery hunters like Zaina and Skora to kill them easier is what you're going to want to use the Wisties on. And a rule of thumb is to always use your Wisties when you're planning to use your ultimate ability, the Cluster Bomb. No exceptions. The amount of times that a hunter or two have escaped my bomb radius because they weren't slowed down is innumerable. Hey, look at me using new words. Thanks dictionary.com. Not sponsored, by the way. I just like shouting out brand names to get nothing in return. But yeah, never use your ultimate ability without the Wisties slowing your targets down first. And also don't waste your ultimate on a Char who hasn't used his health ability yet. Also make sure to watch out for the Reeves or Slingshots who can dash their way out of range as well. The other tanks like Graz and Sentinel are easy pickings for the bomb if placed right. And a fun tip about the bomb is that you can launch that sucker across the map if you can aim that far. Makes for a fun surprise to the other team. Her ultimate is the ultimate room clearer and control point crowd control. Don't be afraid to hang on to it until necessary. Now, I hope you learned something new about her abilities. Lastly, we're going to go over a few tips that I have when using Pilbush in game and what you should implement into your gameplay. Pilbush does best at close to medium range, where you can easily get critical hit points on your enemies to deal max damage. While you can still launch your grenade launcher at long range for certain hunters, that is not always ideal. Make sure you keep a closer distance to the enemy you're fighting unless I specify otherwise. And getting into those exceptions is any of the melee hunters like Graz or J3, as you can just keep backing up and firing at them from a distance. Pilbush has the best group damage in the game, as their grenades will also impact hunters close to the explosion radius. Pilbush is also great for targeting support hunters in the back lines of the fight. Killing that butthole Sprocket or Skora first in a fight will make killing the rest of the team a heck of a lot easier. Another hunter you want to keep a fair distance from is Utuni. Utuni is a great counter to Pilbush with their close range disruptor. A Utuni will kill you faster than you can kill them most of the time, so be aware of your distance to them, as they can also bring you in with their ion grenade. Sentinel is also very good at stopping Pilbush right in their tracks. Their suppressing shot ability will lay you flat on the ground, and if they're close enough to pair that with a knockback barrel, then you're pretty much a goner most of the time. You want to maintain a medium range distance to any Sentinel and try to fight them behind a wall or barrier. That way, if they knock you down, they'll have a harder time trying to shoot you on the floor. Your starting strategy at the beginning of the game is very telling how the rest of the game will play out usually. Finding chokeholds to use your Wisties and spam your overload ability can quickly take out unsuspecting enemies in the first round of kills in a match. I know at least 1 or 2 enemies will walk into that doorway on the second level of Death Star Crossfire. So preparing my Wisties to slow them down and spam my launcher typically gets me an easy kill, or even an entire squad wipe on occasion. The more narrow the passageway, the more damage your explosion radius can deal. Holding a good angle vantage point is always an important reminder as well. If you can easily rain down fire on an enemy from above, they will always have a harder time trying to shoot you if you're behind cover or far above them. Another key reminder that you can use for any hunter is to memorize the health pickups on the map and always try to be close to one. Even if you need to camp near one, staying alive is always your goal. And make sure you try to stay near your teammates for extra support. Fighting 1 hunter versus 3 will always be easier for your enemies. The last tip I want to give you is just another friendly reminder. Please do not waste your abilities, and especially your ultimate ability, during battle. The ultimate ability has a short delay before the bomb is shot out and armed. So hunters like J3 can pull you with their ability, thus canceling out your ultimate ability. And no, you don't get that ability back, so you have to wait again to try and use it. Another great example is going back to the Sentinel suppressing shot. If you don't know that the Sentinel has used that ability and you're trying to use your ultimate, try to bait out that ability first, just to be safe. Well, that's going to do it for this guide today, fellow hunters. Let me know if there's another hunter you want me to try and cover. Any questions about Pilbush are welcomed in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. Thank you for watching this video. Leave a like and subscribe if you're new. This is Avenue signing off.